The fluorescent clock above the medication cart blinks 11:47 p.m. when Maya Bennett's legs stop listening. 14 hours. 2 appendectomies. 1 psych patient who threw a dinner tray. Her uniform smells like antiseptic and someone else's fear. The recovery ward hums its low mechanical lullaby, the sound of machines that know more about you than you know about yourself. She slips into room 412 instead of 413. The difference is 1 digit. The difference is everything. The man in the bed has surgical tape on his ribs and bandages wrapped like an apology across his left side. He's awake. His eyes find hers in the semi-dark, and something in them, relief almost, makes her throat catch. He doesn't check her badge. He doesn't ask her name. "Thank God," he whispers. "Thank God you came back." Maya should correct him. Her hand touches the door frame, but his breath, shallow, careful, and the way his shoulders drop when she steps inside instead of backing out, it rewires something in her. Nobody waits for her. Nobody breathes easier because she enters a room. She doesn't leave. "I'm here," she says. A lie. A kindness. The only true thing she's said in weeks. Outside, the September rain taps its Morse code against the windows. Inside, a stranger hands her the kind of attention that feels like proof that she matters. She has no idea what she's about to undo. The hospital smells like floor wax and the underside of fear, a scent that doesn't wash off, that moves through your hair and your scrubs and your dreams. Maya's worked Riverside Memorial for 3 years. She knows which nurses cut corners, Priya always, which doctors drink their coffee like they're running a race, all of them, and which hallways hold the ghosts of people who came in mobile and went out in a cardboard box. She does not know room 412 well. Patients here cycle through at 4 a.m., post-op stays mostly. Abdominal surgery, laparoscopic work, the kind of recovery that requires stillness and time. The machines beep, medication drips, nobody talks about the cost. Everyone feels it. The man in the bed has silver cufflinks on the table beside him, the kind that catch light even when they're resting. His phone, face down and dark. No flowers, no cards taped to the rolling tray table, the way other rooms look like a kindergarten explosion of construction paper and balloon ribbons. He is alone in a way that doesn't sound like loneliness. It sounds like fact. "You actually came back," he says. His voice is hoarse but not weak, like he's in pain but refusing to perform it. "I thought I dreamed you." Maya's shift ended at 11. Her supervisor signed off. She's supposed to be in the break room drinking coffee so cold it coats your teeth, scrolling through her phone's dead battery warning, trying not to think about next month's rent. Instead, she's standing at the foot of his bed, still wearing the compression socks that dig into her calves, still holding the MedCart tablet she hasn't actually needed. "I'm not who you think I am," she says. The only honest thing. He shifts, careful, winding, and the monitor beside him ticks up for a beat, pain, registering. He ignores it. "Then who are you?" She opens her mouth, closes it. She's supposed to say she's made a mistake, that she needs to leave, that the real visitor, whoever was supposed to arrive at 11:47 p.m. and didn't, might still be on the way. Instead, she says, "Someone who was running late." His face settles into something that might be forgiveness. 67 minutes is how long she stays. Not a long time in the mathematics of a lifetime, but long enough for small betrayals to accumulate. His name, Julian Ward. His city, Philadelphia. The fact that his mother never showed. Not once. Not the surgery. Not after. She delivered his ice water. She adjusted his pillow. She did all the things a real visitor does, except she clocked out first. At 12:54 a.m., the night shift charge nurse, Marcus, built like a vending machine, remembers everything, stops her at the station. "Your dad doing okay?" he asks. Maya's father is in Tampa, alive as far as she knows. They haven't spoken in 8 months. "What?" she says. "Room 412. You've been in there almost an hour. I wanted to make sure he was..." The realization doesn't come gentle. It crashes. Marcus thinks Julian is her father. He didn't check the chart. He assumed. And she walked out of that room twice. Once at 1 a.m., to pretend to check on another patient once at 1:24 to get him ice chips, like she belonged there. He's fine, Maya says. He needed someone to stay. Marcus studies her face the way doctors study scans, looking for shadows. His chart says he's all alone here. No emergency contact updated since admission. The lie lands before she can catch it. We're not close. It's complicated. But when he called she stops. Backtracks. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have stayed past my shift. I wasn't on his care team. Marcus doesn't write her up. Instead, he checks the clock and says, "You're not clocking back in. You're going home. Let him use the call button if he needs something." But he doesn't look angry. He looks like he understands that sometimes people break protocol because they broke first, and this is what repair looks like. Borrowed time, borrowed presence, borrowed proof that someone cares. When she passes 412 on her way to the locker room, the light is on. Julian is watching the door. Their eyes meet. He doesn't smile, but he doesn't look away either. She goes home with his presence stuck to her like something she can't wash off. 3 days pass before he finds her. The letter arrives at the hospital, addressed in handwriting that looks like it was taught in a different era. Formal, architectural, each letter deliberate. The envelope is cream-colored. The return address reads, J. Ward, Architectural Consulting, Philadelphia, PA. Ms. Bennett, you tended to me while I was vulnerable. You asked nothing in return. This is a quality I don't encounter. I would like to understand it better. I am being discharged tomorrow. If you're willing, would you permit one conversation, 1 hour, your choice of location, where we can speak openly? I would like to compensate you for your time and the risk you took. Boundaries matter to me. So does honesty. If you choose to meet, there are 3 rules. You may leave at any point, no explanation required. I will not pursue contact after. Anything shared in this hour cannot be used against either of us. What happens here stays here. We speak the truth. No embellishment, no performance. If you disagree with any term, return this letter unsigned. I will understand. J.W. There's a line for her signature at the bottom. A fountain pen is clipped to the back of the envelope. Maya reads it 4 times in the break room. She reads it in the car. She reads it at home, standing in her apartment kitchen where the light is harsh and unforgiving, illuminating the water stain on her ceiling and the credit card bills stacked on the counter. She signs it. She includes a note. Coffee. Tomorrow. 8 a.m. The Grind, 5th and Walnut. The Grind is the kind of coffee shop where college students perform studying and tourists perform being local. It's neutral ground, busy enough that nothing intimate can happen, quiet enough to hear. Julian arrives early. He's wearing a charcoal sweater despite the September warmth, covering the surgical wound, Maya realizes, trying not to perform healing for strangers. She sits across from him and the first thing he says is, "Your name's not on the chart. You're not listed as a visitor." Marcus, the night shift nurse, he defended you. He said sometimes people help people because it matters, not because it's their job. He was being kind, Maya says. He was being honest. You want coffee? She nods. He orders for her without asking what she wants. Dark roast, no sugar. And she realizes he watched her make coffee in the hospital. He was paying attention. I'm not your father, she says. I know. Your mother doesn't visit. Julian leans back, careful of his ribs. She visits hospitals for show, not for sitting. My father's been dead 11 years. It was just supposed to be me. A routine procedure, a weekend alone. Why didn't you correct me? When I came in, he looks at his coffee like it holds an answer. Because for 67 minutes, someone was choosing to stay in the room with me. Not because I was powerful or useful or could offer something back. Because I needed it. That doesn't happen much in my world. A woman at the next table glances over, registering the intimacy of his tone or the rawness of his admission, or something between them that doesn't need witnesses. Julian doesn't notice, or doesn't care. I want to know you, he says. Real, not what you showed me in the hospital. Not performance. Why? Maya asks. He takes a long breath. It costs him something. She can see it in the slight hitch of his movement. Because when you were there, I felt less afraid. Not because of what you did, because of who you were willing to be, even though I was a stranger. That's rare. I want to understand it. Maya wraps her hands around the coffee cup. The warmth is real. The question is real. What if I'm just a broken person helping another broken person pretend? Then we're both in the exact right place, Julian says, and we should probably keep pretending. The weight of his statement settles between them like something negotiated. They meet again a week later. Julian has a gala, some architectural foundation fundraiser at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. He needs a date. He's honest about it. He explains that his usual companions are women who understand the transactional nature of the arrangement, who collect photographs and Instagram moments and nothing deeper. I need a different kind of presence, he says. Someone real. For one night. Maya should say no. She doesn't know him. She knows his ribs are healing because she heard the hitch in his breathing when he laughed too hard. She knows his coffee order and the fact that his mother called once and he didn't answer. She knows the vulnerability of his admission in a hospital bed. She doesn't know if he's good, if he's kind beyond circumstance, if this is kindness or transaction or something worse. I'll pay you, he says, and she flinches. Not for the date, for the dress, for your time, honestly, the way I offered in the letter. She accepts. The dress is silver, cut in a way that makes her feel like architecture herself. Strong lines, intention, the kind of thing designed to be seen. Julian picks her up in a car that costs more than her student loans. He introduces her to colleagues and investors and people whose names alone mean something in the city. Nobody questions who she is. They accept her as though she belongs. What unsettles her is that Julian keeps his hand on the small of her back, not possessive but anchoring. And when a woman, someone he clearly knows, clearly has history with, approaches him, he doesn't release that hand. He holds steady. Julian, the woman says, measuring Maya with the kind of look that catalogs price tags. New acquisition? New priority, Julian corrects, his tone flat enough to cut. Excuse us. He moves them away. At the coat check, he leans against the wall and Maya sees him wince. Small, controlled, a man used to managing pain in public. Are you okay? She asks. Shouldn't be dancing yet. Doctor said 6 weeks. I'm at 2. He turns to her. But I wanted you to see me whole. Or trying. Not just the version from the hospital bed. She reaches out, not thinking, just moving, and touches the place on his ribs where the incision is healing. She can't feel it through the suit, but she can feel him react to being known, being seen. You're doing well, she says, using her nurse's voice, the one that holds competence and softness at once. He leans forward like he wants to kiss her. He doesn't. Instead, he pulls back and says, We agreed on honesty. If I kissed you right now, it would be for me, not for you. And you'd let me, because you're kind. I don't want that. A month passes. They see each other twice weekly. Coffee, dinner, once a walk along the Schuylkill where Julian photographed the architecture and Maya photographed him photographing, neither knowing the other was doing it. On a Thursday morning, Maya arrives at Riverside for her shift and finds a box on her locker. Inside, a bracelet, thin gold, with a small silver key charm hanging from it, and a note, in his architectural handwriting. I know what this means to you. Your grandmother's, you said, the one you lost in the fire when you were 8, the one you've been trying to replace for 20 years. I found the original in an estate sale catalog from 2018. This is as close as I could get. Same maker, same era, same weight. It's not your childhood. But maybe it's permission to stop grieving it. Jay. She hasn't told him about the fire. She's certain of this. She hasn't mentioned her grandmother's bracelet, the one thing she lost that she couldn't recover that she's tried to find in 100 different antique shops. She calls him. Her hands shake. How did you? Your apartment, he says. It's not a question. You have the catalog, the fire insurance document, the photograph of it. You carrying your grandmother in your backyard, 1995. It's on your bookshelf. You went through my things? No. His voice doesn't waver. I saw them, and I asked you about them carefully, and you told me pieces. I listened. I cared about what I heard. I did what love does. I tried to heal the wound. The word settles. Love. Julian, I'm not asking you to. I'm just telling you the truth. I know what matters to you because I've chosen to pay attention. That's not manipulation. That's what happens when someone loves you. She touches the bracelet through the box. Real. Gold. Evidence of his attention, his care, his willingness to know her so completely that he could repair something she thought was lost forever. Why are you telling me this now? She asks. There's a long pause. When he speaks again, his tone changes, still honest, but weighted with something she can't name. Because tomorrow I need to tell you something else, something I should have told you before it went this far. The next day, Maya meets him at his townhouse, a 4-story restoration in Old City, brick cleaned to honey, windows that frame the skyline like art. It's the first time she's been invited inside. The first time his private world opens. He pours wine, doesn't drink his. Sits on a leather sofa that probably cost more than her car, and tells her that his mother, Catherine Ward, founder of Ward Maternal Health Initiative, philanthropist, board member of 3 hospitals, didn't raise him alone. There's a woman, he says. Elena Vasquez. She was my nanny. She raised me for 18 years. She's the one I called when I woke from surgery, half thinking I was 6 years old again. She's always been the person I wanted there. Why wasn't she? Maya asks. Because 3 months ago, my mother had her fired, without severance, without cause listed. My mother claimed there was inappropriate conduct, but there was nothing. No documentation, no proof. Elena tried to fight it through HR, but my mother is the founder. HR works for her. He stands, walks to a bookshelf, removes a leather portfolio, the kind that holds important documents. From inside, he takes 3 things and arranges them on the coffee table like evidence at a trial. First, a photograph. Julian, maybe 8 years old, sitting on Elena's shoulders. Both of them laughing, sunlit, real. Second, a medical record, pristine and official. Maya recognizes the logo. Riverside Memorial. The date is from 2 years ago. A wellness visit for Elena, age 67. Notes in the margin. Routine checkup. Excellent health markers. Cleared for active employment. Third, a bank statement, folded and refolded until the creases are soft. It's dated 3 months ago. A wire transfer from Julian's personal account to Elena Vasquez, $30,000 labeled severance, personal responsibility. I gave her money, Julian says, but I couldn't give her her job back. I couldn't prove what my mother did was wrong because there's nothing written down. No email, no recorded conversation. Just my mother's word and Elena's loss. Maya picks up the photograph. Julian's joy is uncomplicated. Elena's love is unmistakable. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm about to do something that might hurt you. And I need you to know who I am first, not the version that gives gifts and pays for dinners. The version that fails the people he loves. He takes a breath, reaches into the portfolio again. This time he pulls out a contract. 20 pages. Dense with legal language. Highlighted sections and footnotes in his own handwriting. My mother wrote me out of the inheritance, he says quietly. 2 weeks ago. She changed her will. She's publicly backing a rival firm for the museum renovation I've been designing for 2 years. A design my team created, that I pitched to them personally. She's telling investors that my judgment is compromised and that I'm emotionally unstable following my surgery. Can she do that? She's already doing it. The question is, what comes next? He looks at her directly. She's going to find out about you, and when she does, she's going to use it. She'll say I hired someone to pretend to be my family visitor to create narrative control. She'll say you're a nurse who stole patient information. She'll use your job, which you need, as leverage against me. The room tilts. The bracelet on her wrist suddenly feels like evidence. How do you know she'll do this? Because I know my mother, and because I'm worth more as a cautionary tale than I am as her son. Julian doesn't touch her, doesn't ask for forgiveness. Instead, he does something harder. He answers her next question before she asks it. I love you, he says. Not conditionally. Not as an arrangement. I love you, which means I need to tell you that if you stay, if we continue, you're going to be caught in something that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with me being unable to stand up to my mother until now. Maya's throat closes. What do you need me to do? She asks. The truth, that's all. Just the truth. Documented. He walks to a desk, mahogany, glass-topped, the kind of thing that photographs well. From the top drawer, he removes 3 items, laying them out methodically. First, a voice memo app on his phone, queued to a recording dated September 14th at 2:47 p.m. He presses play. Julian, darling, I heard about your little hospital companion. How sweet. Tell me, was she aware that you're under investigation by the hospital's ethics board? Or did that detail escape conversation? Mother, there is no investigation. Not yet. But there will be. The board is very interested in how a nurse's badge was used to access restricted records. I made sure of that. If your girlfriend values her career, she'll want to distance herself. Tell her you were a pleasant recovery fantasy. Tell her the money was meant as severance from her delusion. The message ends. Second, a printed email, dated September 15th, timestamp 9:23 a.m., from Catherine Ward's private account to the hospital's chief compliance officer. Dr. Okonkwo, I have concerns about protocol violations in the post-op recovery ward. My son reported that a nursing staff member may have accessed his private information without authorization. I believe this warrants a routine audit. Of course, I'm not suggesting any specific action. I simply want to ensure our institutions maintain the highest ethical standards. Catherine. Third, a bank statement showing the wire transfer to Elena, with a handwritten note in the margin. Paid silence. She's too proud to take it, but I had to try. The voice memo is evidence, Julian says. It's her admitting that she's pressuring me through you. It's her threatening your job to control me. And the email to compliance, she's filing a false complaint. She knows there's no violation. She's creating one. Why are you giving me this? Maya asks. Because you need to know that if you want to walk away right now, today, I'll understand. I'll let you go clean. No strings, no complications. He sets a key on the table. Gold. It matches the charm on her bracelet. But if you don't walk away, he says, then I need you to trust me enough to let me do what I should have done months ago. I need to tell the truth. All of it. In front of witnesses. With proof. The next morning, Maya receives an email at her hospital account. The timestamp reads 7:14 a.m. The sender line, compliance, arriversidememorial.org. Subject, inquiry, record access review. The email is polite, professional, lethal. Ms. Bennett, we are conducting a routine audit of access logs from September 12th. Your badge was used to access patient records outside your assigned floor, Recovery Ward B, Level 4, Room 412, at 11:52 p.m. on September 12th. This entry occurred after your scheduled shift ended at 11 p.m. We would like to understand the clinical necessity for this access. Please contact our office by 5 p.m. today to schedule a meeting. Dr. James Okonkwo, Chief Compliance Officer. The email is CC'd to her supervisor, to the Director of Nursing, to HR. Maya's hands shake as she reads it 3 times, looking for the trap, finding it everywhere. Technically, she did access the room without authorization. Technically, she overstayed her shift. Technically, Catherine Ward is right. There was a protocol violation. Small, innocent in intent, but documentable, provable, dismissible. She calls Julian. I got the email. she says. I know. I got a call from my mother's lawyer 30 minutes ago. She's demanding that I sign a statement confirming that you coerced your way into my room, that you were gathering information to sell to the press. If I don't sign, she's going to press charges against you: theft of patient information, violation of privacy protocols, misconduct. Can she? She can try. Whether it sticks is a different question. But the question isn't legal, it's professional. If there's even an investigation, your career is disrupted. Hospitals hire carefully. One complaint becomes a permanent shadow. Maya sits on her apartment floor. The bracelet catches the light. What do? We prove that she's lying, all of it. By 11 a.m., the hospital has frozen her access. By 1 p.m., she receives a formal letter requesting her presence at a compliance meeting scheduled for 3:15 p.m., room 401, Compliance and Ethics Division. By 2:45 p.m., she's sitting across from Dr. Okonkwo, a woman in her 60s with kind eyes and the exhausted authority of someone who has fired good people for technical violations. Walk me through September 12th, Dr. Okonkwo says. Maya does. She tells the truth: the double shift, the exhaustion, the wrong room, the kindness of not leaving. She tells it simply, without embellishment. When she finishes, Dr. Okonkwo sets down her pen. You understand that accessing records outside your assignment without authorization is a protocol violation? Yes. You understand that this can result in disciplinary action up to and including termination? Yes. The patient in question, Julian Ward, has his mother, Catherine Ward, who is a major institutional donor and founder of our maternal health program. She's filed a concern suggesting that this access was not accidental. The word hangs, suggesting. Is that true? Maya asks. That's what I'm trying to determine. But I have an access log. I have a timestamp. I have an unauthorized entry. And I have a donor making a statement that raises questions about your character. Dr. Okonkwo meets her eyes. The access log is fact. The donor's concern is hearsay. But hearsay from someone with significant influence is complicated. The door opens. Marcus, the night shift nurse who defended her, enters with another nurse, someone from the night rotation named Sandra. They sit. Clearly, they've been called. These are staff members who were on duty that night, Dr. Okonkwo explains. I wanted to establish timeline and character. Marcus speaks first. I saw Maya in the recovery ward. She'd already clocked out. I assumed the patient was family. They had that kind of... It was natural, like she belonged there. Did you see her accessing records? Dr. Okonkwo asks. No. I saw her adjusting pillows, getting ice. That's nursing. That's care. Sandra adds. I checked on room 412 at 1:30 a.m. Maya was there. The patient asked her not to adjust anything. She left him alone. That's professionalism, not misconduct. Dr. Okonkwo nods, makes notes, but her expression doesn't change. The problem, she says quietly, is that I can't prove your intentions. I can only verify the violation, and with a formal complaint from someone with Ms. Ward's standing, I have to open a formal investigation. Maya's stomach drops. What does that mean? It means a 6-week review. It means you're placed on administrative leave pending the outcome. It means your license will not be suspended, but your employment is in question. And if the investigation finds misconduct, which technically unauthorized access outside your assignment is, your career at Riverside becomes untenable. She doesn't say you'll be fired. She doesn't have to. When do I hear the outcome? Maya asks. 6 weeks minimum, possibly longer if we need to interview additional staff. Walking out of the hospital, her ID already deactivated, her shift coverage already reassigned, Maya sits in her car and lets the shaking start. 6 weeks is 2 months of rent. It's proof of instability on her permanent record. It's exactly what Catherine Ward designed. Her phone buzzes. A text from Julian. It's working. She's convinced she's won. Don't call me. Don't text. Tomorrow morning, everything changes. The next morning, Maya receives a registered letter from a law firm, Vasquez and Associates, legal representation. Inside, a letter from Elena Vasquez herself, written in careful, formal English. Dear Ms. Bennett, I do not know you, but I know what Julian has told me about you. I know that his mother is attempting to destroy your reputation to control him, and I know that I have been silent for 3 months, while this same woman destroyed mine. Today, I choose silence no longer. I am filing a formal complaint with the hospital's board of directors alleging unfair termination, breach of contract, and defamation through false conduct claims. I am doing this because what happened to me was wrong, and because if Julian loves you the way he says, then you deserve to know that the Ward family uses other people's shame as currency. I have attached 4 documents. 1. My employment contract with Julian Ward, as his home manager caregiver, signed by both Julian and his mother Catherine, dated January 15, 2007, 18 years. Clean termination clause requiring 60 days notice and severance equal to 6 months' salary. My termination included 0 notice and 0 severance. 2. Email correspondence between Catherine Ward and HR, obtained through legal discovery, in which she instructs them to file a false conduct concern rather than follow contract terms. The exact phrase, make it look procedural. I'll handle the narrative. Timestamp, August 20th this year. 3. My EXIF data and GPS logs showing my location on the date Catherine claimed I was absent from duty. I was caring for my granddaughter at a pediatric appointment in Camden. Medical records attached as verification. 4. A voice recording of Catherine Ward, obtained legally by my attorney, in which she confesses to my counsel that she terminated me because I warned Julian about her controlling behavior. The date is September 8th. The duration is 14 minutes. She is speaking to my lawyer at a scheduled deposition. The word receipt has a meaning in your generation that it didn't have in mine. You collect proof. So do I. I am sending these to the hospital board, to the licensing board, and to the legal firm defending you. I am doing this because I raised Julian Ward to believe in loyalty. Catherine Ward is teaching him that loyalty is expensive. I want you to know, it doesn't have to be. With respect, Elena Vasquez attached. All 4 documents. The email thread is brutal in its clarity. Catherine Ward's language shifts from maternal concern to calculated destruction across 3 messages. The GPS data places Elena exactly where she said, hospital parking lot, timestamp 2:14 p.m., matching the appointment confirmation. The voice recording when Maya listens is Catherine's voice, unmistakable, admitting, I needed him to understand that his loyalty to me matters more than his loyalty to staff. Elena became a liability. At 8 a.m., Maya receives a call from Dr. Okonkwo. I've been reviewing new evidence that has come to my attention, Dr. Okonkwo says carefully. I wanted to inform you before the formal announcement. The compliance investigation into your conduct is being closed. The evidence submitted by Ms. Vasquez and her legal team, combined with documentation provided by Mr. Julian Ward, suggests that the original complaint was filed with intent to harm rather than institutional concern. What does that mean? Maya asks, though she knows. It means your access to the recovery ward was consistent with compassionate care. It means there was no misconduct. It means I'm recommending to the board of directors that you be fully reinstated with back pay and an official apology in your personnel file from this office. The line goes quiet. Ms. Bennett, I've worked in compliance for 23 years. I know what retaliation looks like, and I know what it looks like when someone with power uses institutions to punish her son's choices. I'm sorry it took documentary evidence to clarify that. You should never have been questioned in the first place. The board of directors meeting is scheduled for 2 p.m. on a Thursday. It's meant to be internal, a formal review, a closed proceeding, a bureaucratic closure. Julian changes that. He arrives at the hospital with a journalist from the Philadelphia Inquirer, a photographer, and a file folder. He requests a press conference in the lobby at 1:45 p.m. He doesn't ask permission. He simply holds it. The room fills quickly. Staff, patients, visitors, the kind of gathered chaos that happens when institutions are forced to reckon with themselves publicly. Julian stands at a podium. Someone retrieves it from the auditorium. Behind him, Elena Vasquez. Behind her, Maya, hands steady, the bracelet visible on her wrist. He speaks for 6 minutes. 3 months ago, my mother, Catherine Ward, founder of the Ward Maternal Health Initiative, terminated a woman named Elena Vasquez without cause, without severance, and without honesty. She told my family that Elena had violated conduct policies. She told staff the same. She told me privately that it was necessary to teach me about loyalty. What she did not say was that she was lying. He holds up the email thread. The journalist photographs it. She did not say that she was fabricating a complaint to control my personal choices. She did not say that she was attempting to use institutional mechanisms to punish someone for reminding me that love doesn't require ownership. He holds up the voice recording documentation. She did not say that when I fell in love with someone she disapproved of, a woman who showed me kindness in a hospital room, who asked nothing in return, who embodied the values she claims to teach, she would weaponize my own institution against her. The camera flashes. I am here to say I was wrong to be silent for 3 months. Elena deserved better. Maya deserved better. And this hospital deserved to know the truth before its reputation became collateral damage in a personal vendetta. Security arrives. The CEO, a man named Robert Helmsworth, who looks genuinely alarmed, emerges from the administrative wing. Mr. Ward, you can't conduct a press conference in this building without authorization. I'm conducting it anyway, Julian says calmly. What you can do is press charges, or you can do the right thing. You can reinstate Elena Vasquez with full severance and a written apology. You can formally exonerate Maya Bennett, or you can explain to your board of directors and to the press why you allowed a major donor to weaponize your compliance system against your own staff. The CEO's face darkens. This is not how institutions work, Mr. Ward. No, Julian agrees. Usually they protect their donors and sacrifice their people. I'm asking this institution to be different. The room holds its breath. Dr. Okonkwo steps forward, not dramatically, just moving through the crowd with the authority of someone who has nothing left to lose. She approaches the microphone. I am Chief Compliance Officer at Riverside Memorial, she says. I can confirm that Ms. Vasquez's termination violated contract terms and hospital policy. I can confirm that Ms. Bennett's conduct was appropriate and compassionate. And I can confirm that the complaint filed against Ms. Bennett was filed with discriminatory intent. She looks directly at the CEO. If the board chooses not to act on this matter, I will be submitting my resignation, along with a full report to the Pennsylvania Department of Health. The CEO's jaw tightens. The board will convene immediately, he says quietly. Mr. Ward, if you would. I'll wait, Julian says. He steps down from the podium, finds Maya in the crowd, takes her hand. The photographer captures it, the two of them still solid, facing what comes next together. It will run in the newspaper the next morning with the caption, Architectural firm partner Julian Ward and nurse Maya Bennett stand firm against institutional retaliation. 53 minutes later, the CEO emerges. He reads a statement. Effective immediately, Riverside Memorial is offering a formal apology and substantial severance to Elena Vasquez. We are offering reinstatement with back pay and an official commendation in her file to Maya Bennett. We have accepted the resignation of a member of our leadership team, and we are implementing new protocols to ensure that donor relationships do not compromise the integrity of our compliance and ethics systems. He does not name Catherine Ward. He does not have to. 2 weeks later, Maya stands on a rooftop in Old City. The skyline is amber, the kind of light that makes brick look like something that glows from within. Julian stands beside her, arm around her waist, healed enough now that he doesn't wince when he moves. I have something for you, he says. He produces a small box. Inside, not a ring, but a framed photograph. It's the image Maya took at the gala. Julian photographing the architecture, candlelit bokeh lights in the background, his attention absolute, his vulnerability visible. Below the photograph, 2 lines of text in his handwriting. What matters is not what we can prove about each other, but what we choose to believe. I choose you. I'm not asking you to marry me, he says. Not yet. Not until you've seen me through a bad year, a hard decision, a moment where I wasn't the version you met. I'm asking you to stay while I learn how to be honest. To stay while I rebuild what my mother broke. To stay because you choose to, not because I can pay you to. Maya touches the photograph. The bracelet, the one with the key charm, the one made to replace what she lost, catches the fading light. I'm staying, she says. Below them, the city moves. People navigate streets and make small choices and hurt each other, and sometimes, if they're brave, choose to repair. The nurse and the architect stand still, watching proof become faith, become simple, ordinary love, the kind that doesn't require receipts. What matters is not what you can prove, but what you believe deserves proving. This hospital will change because one woman had the courage to speak. One woman accepted kindness without asking why. One woman chose dignity over silence. The question is not whether Julian Ward deserved a second chance. The question is, what would you have done? If this gave you courage, subscribe and tell us, what would you have done?